Five-star wide receiver Joshisa Trader just made a surprise announcement that he is verbally committed to the hometown Miami Hurricanes. In this video, I'm going to break down the type of player he is, what to expect at Miami, and why he has been my favorite player to watch in the 2024 recruiting class. Simply put, Joshisa is just one of those exciting, electrifying, and very entertaining players to watch. He's an elite prospect, and certainly Miami fans should be excited about him, what he brings to the table, which once again, I will break down in this video from what I have seen from him at the high school level, whether it's with his high school team or on the 7-on-7 circuit with the South Florida Express. First off, just kind of put this in perspective with Joshisa. He's currently ranked the number 25 overall prospect in the 24/7 composite rankings. Miami has not landed a high-ranked player like that at running back or wide receiver since Duke Johnson out of Norland signed with the Hurricanes in 2012. So it has been quite a few years since Miami has landed a player like this that is a true playmaker on the offensive side of the ball. It's going to be very interesting and exciting to watch him at Miami when he gets there, but also how will the rest of this recruiting class shape up with him now on board, because the class has really been hoping to land a premier guy like this. And certainly he has a lot of connections with the Express, with his high school teams, whether when he was at Central or even Monsignor Pace, or right now when he's at Chaminade-Madonna. So it'll be very interesting to see how the class shapes up. Kind of going back to with him a couple years ago when he was at Central. In 2021, he was a sophomore there after he made the transfer from Pace, and he helped the Rockets win big in a state championship game. He had 3 touchdowns that game. You can see the full video of him on the channel. I put that up a few years ago, as I knew he was going to be one of those players in this class to really be one of those premier guys. He was just a true playmaker. He caught 2 big touchdown passes in the game, but he also returned an interception over 90 yards. So he's just one of those true dynamic playmakers. And to me, that has continued throughout his career. And at the high school level, he's just a dynamic playmaker. When the ball is in his hands, whatever level, whatever camp, whatever event he is at, he has a chance to make big plays. And I think this Miami program needs a player like JoJo into their program that can make big plays and create some excitement with the offense. You know, I recently did a video with Greg Biggins about the recruiting class, how it looked for Miami. And one of the things I said was, for a class to be good, he judged it on a few things. For me, I'm always looking at the offensive skill talent, those playmakers. How good are those guys? And I felt like even with the ranking being high, and even though they've been getting some solid guys, they really needed a headliner at playmaker. And with a guy like JoJo Trader now on board, I think that really can help solidify the class. And now that the other pieces can really just take shape, and these guys can be essentially fill in their respective roles, whether it's on offense or defense, but you've got to have true playmakers that you can count on, because you've got to have playmakers on the offensive side of the ball to win big in college football. And I think JoJo is going to be that at the college level, just like he's been at the high school. One of the reasons why I've really enjoyed watching him play, it's not always just about that he makes the big play, but it's the way he goes about it. He has a lot of fun when he's out there. It's very evident by anybody that's watched him play in person. You can see it. He truly loves the game. He has fun doing it. He works hard, and he does well with his production levels, but also just, you know, he just seems to be a guy that really enjoys the game. And I really feel like that someone like that can be infectious into a locker room setting, especially at a program like Miami that is hoping to win more games, get things going under head coach Mario Cristobal, who was taking over a program that's just looking for more wins. And I think a guy like Trader, with his personality, in addition to his obvious elite abilities as an electrifying playmaker, I think it's really going to help the offense and really help create an identity with an offense that is still looking for that. You know, the future is bright for Miami's offense with a guy like Trader now on board, and he can certainly add more pieces. You've got to have a lot of pieces on offense, but a guy like Trader who can take the ball from anywhere on the field, make guys miss, and get downfield and make big plays. And I think he's going to be one of the premier playmakers in college football. And that's what you want from the Hurricanes, with what you want from any program. You want a guy that can make plays and do so in an exciting fashion. I think Miami's been missing that on the offensive side of the ball. So getting Trader on board is certainly a big get for the Hurricanes for those reasons. It's been something that's been missing, and I think it's going to continue. Once again, his playmaking ability at the high school level to make big plays, I think is going to continue when he gets into college. And I think it's going to help Miami's offense tremendously, not just for the touchdowns he's going to score, but the way he's going to go about doing it. Getting a guy like that to stay home. He's from South Florida, started at Pace, as I mentioned, Central, Chaminade-Madonna. His last 2 years at Central, state champion, Chaminade-Madonna, a state champion. So this is a guy that knows how to win, knows what it takes to win. He's used to playing in big games. And I think that will also help carry over into the program, kind of help create more of a culture. And it just goes with what they've already been building with their freshman class from last year. But getting Trader on board just adds to that. And I think more players are going to jump on board now that Trader has as well. Trader has shown the ability to go up and make big catches. He does a good job catching the ball in traffic. But you see right here in the camp that he attended last month at Miami, the Legends Camp, that was a surprise. He was not expected to be there, and then he showed up, and not just showed up, but he performed and performed well. He was the star of the camp, made big catches, made big plays, looked very good in the position drills at wide receiver, did good in the route running things. And that's where I think helps separate himself in addition to the big time speed. 6'1", he's got good speed at that outside position. He can kind of move around the offense a little bit. You can sometimes hand him off the ball or get him the ball in space is going to be big for him. But, when you watch him at that camp, he did a good job with his routes, with his cuts. He still can always be better at those things, as all young wide receivers can do. But he does a good job with his explosive ability. And then when you're one-on-one with him, he's very difficult to cover because once again, he gets off the line very well. And also he gets downfield. He's a guy that wants to make big plays. And as I mentioned, catches the ball well in traffic, whether it's a one-on-one matchup or if a safety's coming over to guard him. He does a good job of tracking the ball and really coming down with it on some difficult catches. So that's what you like about him. He's got a good build. I think he's going to continue to get bigger and stronger at the next level. But once again, he's coming in with a good frame. That's one of those reasons, in addition to all the production and playmaking abilities, but one of the reasons why he's so highly regarded amongst the guys that watch football and give him player rankings. So Trader certainly has good upside in addition to what he's already doing. I touched on it earlier about how Miami has not had a player ranked this high at that premier spot, either at running back or wide receiver, and really just landing a player, regardless of position, that is this highly sought after, a guy that's out of South Florida. Getting him in your program is certainly a big get from Mario Cristobal and his staff. In recent years, there's been a ton of guys from South Florida that have all the options in the world, and they've gone elsewhere. That's been one of those things that's really haunted Miami over the years. When you get a guy like Cristobal, who's known as a premier recruiter, you want him to land prospects all around the country, obviously on both sides of the ball at all positions. But he was really brought in also to really solidify South Florida recruits, these premier talents that come through the area, because I think those guys can really help either, create an identity with your own program. It's always been a disappointment when those guys do well elsewhere for other college programs and not at Miami. So I know a lot of Miami fans are going to be excited about Trader. And if you are, hit the like button, comment below. Let me know what you think about Trader. What does this mean for the recruits moving forward? I think Trader Jojo is one of those guys that guys want to play with. And I'm very excited to see what might happen after this, now that he's secured his commitment. And we still have a few months before the early signing period starts in December. So it's going to be interesting. Is he going to be involved with recruiting other players? Are other players going to want to play with them in particular? Are they going to get more offensive talent to be there with them? So a lot to be positive about with Jojo. He's one of the biggest recruits Miami has landed in recent years. Over the last 10 years, he's been one of the biggest names Miami has gotten. And I think Miami fans should be excited about it. I know you see the rankings, and I'm here to tell you that those rankings are real. He really is that guy. He's one of those guys that's one of the best players in the country because of his playmaking ability, the way he plays the game, his approach to it, his work ethic. And I think, once again, all those things are nice, but I think he's going to continue to get better. And that's what you want from a talented player. I think it's going to be very exciting to see what he does moving forward. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you have a good rest of the day, and take care.